Less can be more, less is more. I've noticed that a lot of the times there are things when I have less or worse, I always take it as a negative, but in retrospective, it's actually quite a positive thing. So I have a few examples for this, but um, for example, I have some small like health challenges, and every time I have such a thing, or I focus on such a thing, and I'm like, fuck, it sucks. It also reminds me that it could be way fucking worse, and that there are people who are laying in a hospital bed all year and can do nothing with their lives. So this is just an example. Or for example, if you get sick and then you're fine again, and you're actually so grateful that you were fine, and before being sick you weren't that grateful, but it's just a nice reminder that you're actually quite lucky to be healthy. We're quite lucky if we're healthy. Um, Also, after I graduated from university, I thought I would find a nice job and like have nice money, be able to go wherever I want to live, um, in my own place. And that didn't happen. I didn't find a job, I didn't find the money, and I didn't find a place. And I had to, my choice was to not take a job I wouldn't like, and I went back home to my parents' house. And at first, I hated it, like being in that house again. And because I actually have like not so good memories, because I hadn't been there for 5 years to live there, and so before those 5 years, I still had a lot of social anxiety, and my life wasn't very cool. I didn't like my life before my studies, and after it was a lot better. So I ended up being in at home, and I couldn't I didn't have a job. I just was doing stuff online but not earning a lot. And for me, like, I saw everything as a negative, but now, like, basically 8 months later or something, there is so much I'm grateful in that house. So I'm grateful that it's so big, that it's spacious, luminous, that I have a nice garden, that I'm actually in a pretty nice city, that I have the time like to relax, to work on myself in order to like to find the job I like, which I kind of did. So the situation changed completely, just like actually the way I looked at it. So it's kind of like the situation forced me to see what's actually positive in it, in order to be able to be happy. Because otherwise, I would still be complaining right now about the stuff that I didn't like 8 months ago, and it would be hell. So I didn't have a choice. In order to be happy, I had to change like how I viewed my situation. So this is kind of a good example of how less can be more. Also, for example, if you have like less time, you value your time way more. If you have, for example, let's say, yeah, you have like all day long to do certain things, you don't even do them. I mean, in my case, like, I know that when I had a lot of time, I was actually quite nervous and anxious because there was too much freedom and too much procrastination. Whereas when I don't have so much time, I just focus on what I know is gonna have an impact on my life, and I have to do it. Otherwise, I don't feel good because I know I'm just like skipping it, and that's not good. So there's that also. Then like, I was also thinking, when you have like less relationships or less stuff going on socially, for example, like it's the case in my life since a lot of like since probably like 8 months or something as well. I just have the time to just work on myself and figure out what I want to do with my life. And if I had tons of friends actually and a lot of distractions, I wouldn't be able to think about that. And it's kind of like a big thing to take care of, what you want to do with your life. Uh, and I know that the fact that there was a lot of pressure building up in my life in terms of like financially and in terms of social circle, because I didn't like my situation. It just like forced me to kind of think about what should actually make me happy, or what could I do every day in order to be happy, that has nothing to do with friends, nothing to do with material possession, nothing to do with money, because all of that I quite often didn't have in the last month. So you see that sometimes, like when you have less, it can build up a pressure in order to force you to change your mindset, which is really good actually, because I'm sure that now if I do have all these things that I didn't have, my mindset is now different. Now I really enjoy like just taking a walk or just breathing, or um, there's things that I really didn't see 8 months ago, and now I'm grateful for them. And before I wasn't, and I still have a lot of work to do because I still complain too much. But um, yeah, that's how you can see that actually less is more. So if you have like if you happen to have less in your life, try to see like the benefit of it. And also, I believe in the law of attraction. So I believe that actually, when we see the abundance in what we have, abundance will come. So it's not just about like being happy right now. It's probably like the goal. It's right now, but it's also like attracting good stuff in our life, because then we take action and we're just in a better state of being. Thank you.